The night was meant to be quiet. Just me and a glass of bourbon in our dim living room, waiting for Sarah to return from another late shift at the bank. Our 9-year marriage had been slowly unraveling. Her guarded phone, her vague replies, and the name Derek, her coworker, slipping into conversations like an unwelcome shadow. I had planned to confront her, armed with a deleted message I'd found in our shared cloud account. "You're my haven from Derek." But when I looked out the window expecting her car, I saw her instead wrapped in another man's arms. Their silhouettes were locked together beneath a streetlight across from our house. My heart stilled, my fingers tightening around the glass, ready to walk out for good, until Sarah finally came home an hour later, pale and shaking, carrying a truth that turned my world upside down. I stood frozen, watching her step out of Derek's car, his arm around her soft laughter drifting through the still night. The betrayal cut deep. It felt like a knife twisting through years of family dinners and shared dreams. Upstairs, our 8-year-old daughter Mia slept peacefully, her soccer ball glowing beneath her nightlight, a quiet reminder of the life I believed we had built. I was ready to pack a bag and leave before Sarah even stepped inside, but something stopped me. Maybe Mia's trust, maybe a flicker of doubt. When Sarah entered, her eyes were wide with panic. She didn't deny the embrace. Instead, she collapsed onto the couch, sobbing, and revealed a truth I never could have imagined. "It's not what you think, Tom. Derek is my brother." Her words hit like a shockwave, scrambling my thoughts. Brother. Sarah had never mentioned a sibling in 9 years, not during late-night talks or family holidays. Hands trembling, she pulled out her phone and showed me old, grainy photos of her with a boy who looked like Derek, their childhood home behind them. "He's my half-brother," she said, her voice breaking. "I never told you because he was in prison for drugs and theft years ago. He was released last month and I've been helping him start over." Suddenly the texts, the late nights, the secrecy made sense. It wasn't an affair. It was shame and fear of my judgment, fear of dragging her past into our life. I sat stunned, my bourbon forgotten, as she explained how Derek had reached out after his release, desperate for support, a job, and his sister. She had kept it hidden, believing I would see him as trouble, especially with Mia in our lives. The embrace I had witnessed was a reunion, not romance. Him thanking her for a job at the bank, for believing in him when no one else did. Later, I checked the cloud account and found more deleted messages. Not flirty ones, but desperate. Derek's pleas for help. Her replies offered money, connections, and support. "I didn't know how to tell you," she sobbed, searching my face. "I thought you'd leave if you knew." Her secret wasn't betrayal. It was a buried family suddenly exposed beneath a streetlight. I didn't know what to feel. Relief, anger, or something caught painfully in between. Her secrecy had wounded me, her lack of trust cutting deeper than I expected, but it wasn't infidelity. I thought of Mia, her laughter on the soccer field, the life we had built that Sarah had tried to protect in her own flawed way. "You should have told me," I said quietly. "You let me believe the worst." She nodded through tears and promised there would be no more secrets. I didn't forgive her yet, but I stayed. The image of her in Derek's arms shifted from betrayal to misunderstanding. Her truth stunned me into pausing rather than walking away. The next day, I met Derek. His handshake was firm, his eyes heavy with a past he was struggling to escape. He thanked me for Sarah's help, his voice rough but sincere. I could see pieces of her in his face. The sibling bond she had hidden slowly came into focus. We spoke, not as rivals, but as family, and the knot in my chest loosened. That afternoon, Mia's soccer game felt like a lifeline. Her goal lit up the field, and her grin pulled me back to solid ground. Sarah stood beside me cheering, her hand brushing mine, a small, fragile step toward repair. Her secrecy had been her mistake, my discovery, and her reckoning. But the truth, A brother, not a lover, kept me from leaving. At home, I kept the cloud evidence as a reminder of the trust we still needed to rebuild. Sarah's messages were different now, open, honest about Derek's recovery and her own fears. I didn't know if we would fully heal, but Mia's laughter and our shared history felt worth fighting for. That embrace under the streetlight had nearly broken me, but her truth stopped me from shattering completely. I would protect Mia, strengthen our marriage, or face whatever came next one careful step at a time. As I tucked Mia into bed, her sleepy smile fueled my resolve. Sarah's secrecy had shaken me, but her truth, a brother she had tried to shield, had saved us for now. I would move forward for Mia, and for us, letting Sarah prove her honesty. The streetlight embrace remained a haunting echo of a misunderstanding that almost destroyed us, but instead gave us a chance to rebuild.